Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And before we went to the break, we're talking about public sector reform. We didn't use that term exactly, but that is what you're describing when you say that we have a top-heavy, or we have an inflated public service. I mean, this is a sticking point for any politician, any political party, to even suggest touching the public service. Because, you know, if one public servant goes in the name of downsizing and streamlining and making more efficient, there are 2, 3, 4, 5 votes that that politician has lost, because that person is out of a job, the person's family suffers, there's a cousin, there's an aunt, there's a nenen, there's a power who says, oh well, victimization. I mean, how do you realistically address the problem of the public service and the size of the public service without causing a major storm?
I'm not suggesting the government wakes up tomorrow and decide to fire people. I'm not suggesting that at all. As I said to you, it is a process, and it could be done very, very, I would say, quietly through certain policies. And the policy I'm talking about is ensuring that you boost the private sector. And there are lots of people, if they had an option, they would have worked in the private sector as opposed to government for various reasons. But in St. Lucia, we have very, very little. The private sector is not too big. It's very small, very, very small. And in fact, when you have a college graduate seeking for a position or job in St. Lucia, I mean, the first option is the government. So I believe, again, if the government puts things in place, expand the private sector, give the labor market an option, a wider option, a bigger option to move into the private sector as opposed to government. That's a process. That's a process. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not referring to the government waking up tomorrow morning and just firing people. I'm not saying that. And of course, the government can give very attractive packages to senior members. That's one way of doing it, of course.
We have a call on the line. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I want to say how happy I am to see Dr. Raymond on television here in St. Lucia with us.
Thank you.
And I am, you know, really excited to hear the way that he's speaking, and he actually can come out and say what he has to say. I worked with Dr. Raymond, and I know that Dr. Raymond is a worker, and he has St. Lucia at heart. He has the interest of this country at heart. And I am just very pleased to see that he's back here with us, and he's speaking about the real issues confronting us in St. Lucia. I really like the whole idea of him talking about sustainability, as well as a salary adjustment for public workers in this country. I also think that we have to address the issue of government providing leadership in this country, and a lot of the people that we elect into office, who hold very, very high office, and who's supposed to set the example and show some sign of leadership. I would like to know what he thinks about some of these people, and the fact that I do not believe they are showing us any kind of sense of leadership at all in this country, especially where we have so many young people who are looking up to people whom they believe should be their role models. And we do not see these role models performing. Instead, we just see people who go along with the status quo. We see yes, yes, yes people. And if they try to provide any constructive criticism, they are sidelined and they are attacked. Their personal, you know, their person is attacked. So I really like to see Dr. Raymond coming out, and I want him to know that he has my full support. I really, he's somebody that I really admire in this society. The little time that he spent with us, I really think that he made a positive contribution here, although some people may not know that.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ms. Isaac. Thank you very much.
Yes, on the issue of leadership, you know, she raised that question. What do you make of the leaders that we have?
Which leaders are you referring to? Which leaders?
I guess our political leaders. I mean, when we talk about leaders, we most times that's who we refer to.
I leave that for the judgment of the public. That's public to judge that.
Your opinion, though.
My opinion, I would leave that to rest. I don't want to talk about.
So you don't think that we have very strong leaders? I mean,
I mean, what do you refer as a strong leader? What is a strong leader?
Oh, someone who would take the bull by the horns and who would actually direct. And if there is a need to pull others along, you pull. If there's a need to push others forward, you push. You know, I mean, that's what a leader is. I mean, unless you have a different idea of what a leader is or who a leader is.
Well, I think all ministers. Well, if you're referring to government, I'm assuming that is what you're referring to. Each minister is supposed to be a leader. Am I right? You are leading a ministry.
But in terms of the leadership acumen, the leadership capabilities and abilities, what is your impression of the core that we have within government? And when we talk about government, we talk about all those who have presented themselves for election and all those who have been successful in winning the public confidence.
I'll make it clear, Clinton. If there is love for country, leadership will show.
We have a call on the line. Let's take that call. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I would just like to say, the last caller spoke about Mr. Clinton and she really knew him, and that's very nice.
I don't think she spoke about me, sorry.
Beg your pardon?
She was talking about Dr. Raymond. She wasn't talking about me.
Yes, Dr. Raymond. Like she really knew him, and then she probably worked with him and so on. But I don't have the privilege to say that I did. And through history or through what it is in St. Lucia, sadly our political ways or spectrum, you find that politicians basically on the wagon, they go with the flow. And when they don't get, sadly, I don't want to put that to say that's what's going on, but when they don't get their position or what it is that they like, you find that they go the other way. And I'm not just saying this out of the blue. We had a politician who did this bold face in your face in St. Lucia, and that is the member for Surrey, the past member for Surrey, representative for Surrey, that's Mr. Busky. You found that when he was under the Compton administration, he went with the flow. But when Compton said he put him on the side and fired him or dismissed him, you found that everything was a problem. The budget wasn't good, the budget was imbalanced, the government was doing the wrong things. And when the King administration took him again, you found that he went back to the flow, the same issues and the same situation that was such a problem before. And I would just like to say that, it's very sad when politicians do that. I hope that Dr. Raymond really has the interest of St. Lucians at heart, because there are so many problems with our system, the political system in St. Lucia, and you find that because politicians don't want to be sidetracked or they don't want to lose their position and their monies, you find that they basically go with the flow, and they don't, challenge the people who are against them.
All right.
I also agree with the fact that he said the opposition, they don't do the jobs that they're elected to do, not because you're not in government, that doesn't mean you don't have a job. You have a job to represent the people of St. Lucia as much as the government has the job to represent the people of St. Lucia, because it's not what the government do that all St. Lucians would want to be done. There are segments of the island which would want their voices to be heard in other ways. And I believe the opposition on both sides, typically they go through their own interests. They always do what is good for them, and it is very sad, especially the present administration we have right now. When they were in opposition, they did everything on their own. I don't think they had the country's interest at heart. I hope things get better, and I hope Mr. Well, he knows his name, that he gets what he truly wants.
Thank you for that contribution.
Go back to your question. There is something that stuck with me working with Emma Hippolyte. I will never forget that. I remember 1 week into the office, Ministry of Commerce, the secretary walked up to her and gave her a catalog. asking for furniture. Minister, I want to give you this catalog. I want you to choose your furniture. Her response was, Samanila, bon. The furniture I have here is good. That stuck with me. That's a responsible leader.
We have another call. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Hi, good night, Mr.
Good night.
Ubaldus.
Good night to you, sir.
Mr. Ubaldus, what attracts you to the Labour Party?
What attracted me to the Labour Party? What attracted me to St. Lucia? I think that's the most important
No, you
thing.
became a member of the Labour Party, do you?
Yes.
Okay, but what attracted you to the Labour Party?
Okay, okay, caller.
Hello.
I will tell you up front. I want to entertain very, very productive questions up front. And I don't think the direction that you're going into with this question,
no,
I will entertain.
I just asked a simple question.
No, I'm just telling you.
Follow-up question.
I'm just telling you that I'm just responding to you.
Uh-huh.
And I'm saying to you, I came here to discuss issues. I don't want to move in towards any political or party color thing here.
Okay. Okay, you don't want to answer that question. No. Okay, my next question to you. Were you at any time involved in the economic planning for the Labour Party?
My brother, I explained to you that I did not make a contribution to the manifesto because I did not get any general direction from the Prime Minister, the leader at the time.
No, you did not answer my question. My question is, were you asked to make a contribution to the economic plan for the manifesto?
I did not, and I said it earlier.
Okay, did you attend any economic planning meeting for the Labour Party?
Yes, I did.
Right. What contribution you make?
And I've already answered your question. I said to you.
No.
I've already answered the question. I said to you and to the public, I did not make any contribution to the manifesto, and the reason why.
Okay, my question to you.
Caller, if you're going to ask a question, at least have the courtesy of listening to the response before you move on to your next question. I'm accommodating you and having you stay on the line. So if you're going to ask a question, allow him to answer because I have
you have answered me with regards to the manifesto. I'm moving to another question.
Okay.
But
go ahead, caller, because I also want to.
My next question to him.
Open up the lines. Hold on. I also want to open up the lines to others. So
I agree, but let me ask my next question to him. Did you attend a meeting at Moshi where you were asked to make a contribution, a presentation for the economic plan for St. Lucia when it comes to the Labour Party?
I was never asked to make an economic plan presentation to the committee at the time. No.
You was never asked?
No.
You were.
Let me caller. I heard that talk before, and let me tell you why. There was a talk that I am very lazy. That was a talk out there. I'm very lazy. I didn't make any contribution.
No, I have never.
Listen. Can I make my point here? That was a talk. I was very lazy. I didn't make any contribution. When I was asked to make a contribution to the presentation, let me give my specific task when I was asked to make a contribution to the manifesto, to give a briefing of our local and international economic environments. At that Moshi thing that you're talking about here, I spoke about the environment in which we're supposed to be making our policies. Okay? The recessionary period we're in, and what is most likely to happen in the next future. This is exactly what I said. This was a gist of my presentation. Again, I stated that we are in a very recessionary period, and we have to be very careful with the policies that we put together. This was what I said at the Moshi meeting.
Let me allow you to make your final final question.
Did you make any statement to that effect that you don't believe at that present moment that you could make a contribution, right, to the economic development? You could prepare any form of discussion or any paper because of the economic times we're living in. Did you make any statement, or any contribution to that effect?
What I don't answer the question. I'm calling. I don't answer the question.
Did you make any statement
Uh-huh.
saying at the time that you were asked, right, to make a contribution to the process,
Yeah.
that you could not make it at the time because of the difficult times we were living in? You could not make a presentation.
Okay.
I don't answer the question.
All right. He was asking pretty much. Thank you, caller. Did you make a statement to the effect that you were not in a position to provide an analysis of the economic environment at that point because of the times that we were living in?
There was no need to say that. I just stated clearly again. A leader is supposed to provide general direction, okay? And whoever is responsible for putting whatever section is supposed to be put, be it economics, social, whatever it is, these are the individuals who are supposed to be making the specific policies, okay? No one got that general direction. Nobody got that. How am I supposed to be in a committee, right? And put specific policies together, and there were not any general direction given?
We have
that's the issue.
I have a follow-up to that question, but we have a call on the line. Let's take it. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Clinton and Dr. Raymond.
Good evening to you.
Yes, it's good to see you on the television this evening, and I think it's very courageous on your part to come and address those pertinent issues, your resignation, as well as giving us some direction as to how we can go forward. It's really sad to have seen you leave St. Lucia, because I think you're very resourceful, and I think it was poor judgment to not allow you to make the contribution that you came to St. Lucia to make. I think somebody else saw your youth and they have tapped into that. And I think, generally our leaders should not discriminate against people, and they should really tap into our resources, the resources that are available, so that our St. Lucians can contribute to the development of our country. And I really applaud some of the suggestions you made with respect to sustainability, and really I do not see much of that happening in our economic climate. There is a lot of spending, but we really do not see how money can be generated from the investments that are made. So it would be good if they can call you in as a consultant to provide some guidance and some direction to the way we approach our finances, to the way we approach some of the projects that we're going to embark on. Because I think you can make a very significant contribution that would focus us in a direction that would ultimately result in progress for St. Lucia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I recognize that call this evening. The caller, in fact. I want to go back to the previous caller, but we'll do that right after this break. So let's take a quick break on Newsmaker Live. Stay with us. We will be right back.